Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. I'm Jaime Komer. I'm the Chief Transition Guide here at Athlete Career Transition at ACT, and I'm also an Olympic silver medalist and two-time world champion in water polo. I holistically support professional athletes in their transition from a physical, emotional, spiritual standpoint. The past decade since I've retired, I've dedicated my work to, health, well-being, and transition, navigating these big life changes and looking at it from a very holistic view, though. And one of the most powerful practices I've found for myself and for my work with athletes and all humans that I've had the honor of working with is the guided meditation. And if the word meditation feels a little intimidating, consider this a grounding exercise, right? The concept of tuning into our body and being present with our thoughts and being present with what our body is telling us and heightening our self-awareness, and also using our gift of visualization. That seems to be definitely a gift also for athletes, to be able to visualize, make something happen, seeing a play happen, throwing a ball, crossing the finish line, right? We visualize so much. We're going to use that power of visualization to nourish and tune into our well-being, and what I find so empowering and inspiring, honestly, about this practice of guided meditations is that, I use the word empowering. First off, it is so empowering because it's something that you're creating yourself. It's something that you're doing within your own body, and you're creating, clarity that you need on your feelings. You're creating literally a shift in your own energy and your own neurology, like with what you're thinking and where you're spending your energy and where you're sending your thoughts. It's a very powerful practice, particularly I find in heavy low moments, but then also for really when you want to gain more, gumption is the word. One of my favorite words, gumption. And I'll call it soul gumption, right? This is like tapping into your heart, your soul, the center of your core being, and listening to that intuition, whatever it wants to tell you to move forward in or to let go of. And today's guided meditation in particular is going to be about, what we want to let go of, what we want to release so we can move forward and we want to bring into our lives. There's so much power to that practice. My love for guided meditations also started when I retired from professional sports. I dove into the world of yoga and teaching it, and I was particularly curious about the final pose, which is called Shavasana, corpse pose. It's where you literally lay down on your back, and I figured you just lay down and sleep, right? I mean, that's what you do. You lay maybe for 3 minutes. Maybe there's some music going on, and that's the end of the end of your yoga session. And it became my favorite thing I was always looking forward to in a yoga session, whether it was like a power intense yoga or whether it was a very relaxing type of yoga class. And it's said that Shavasana, corpse pose, is actually the hardest pose because it requires us to just sit and be in our thoughts and to literally just be. I mean, it's not that easy, right? We're trained in life right now to go, 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 to do. And I want you to know this is an opportunity right now for you to give yourself permission. And I am giving you permission, not that you need mine, but I just want to let you know this is space I'm offering for you to just be. We do enough. Let's just be for a bit, right? Okay. So what are the benefits of something like a guided meditation? And I'll let you know these types of guided meditations, these are practices I guide the professional athletes I work with through sometimes if they want them. And then also through the Human Athlete Collective, the group gathering that we have of professional athletes, and also our team huddle. This is a great way to start off a meeting, start off a gathering, and you'll hear through the benefits of why it's so impactful. So why are these amazing? Why are guided meditations great? Well, they help you land in your body. Right? They help you be tuned in to what your body is telling you. Our body is sending us signs all the time. It's so wise. It's so smart. And it's telling us stuff, that little ache in the back, that pinchy feeling in the foot, the discomfort in the belly and the gut, that's like our second brain, right? It's telling us something. So just to tune into it with curiosity, I'll add. I know it's easy to tune in with judgment. Oh man. At least for me, tuning in with curiosity. That's part of this practice. Okay. Another benefit for these guided meditations is it helps you be more present, right? We take ourselves, this gives us an opportunity to take ourselves out of, worrying about what happened or worrying about something that will come up in the future, or just thinking about what we have to do or what we're going to make for dinner or what we're going to wear, whatever it is that we're thinking about. It allows us to be more present. It also allows that inner chatter to simmer down a bit. You might notice at the beginning of guided meditations that our chatter is just going, meaning that inner voice, just blabbity, blabbity, blabbity. It's got a mind of its own and it's going. And these types of practices allow us to tune into our body, which allows us to tune into our breath, which allows us to let those thoughts go a little bit. And the reason that they do is because these practices actually calm your nervous system. They actually allow that stress response that we might be in, meaning kind of a higher level of stress. And we may not always know that we're in that. We often are in a perma state of stress, just given that we are, doing things. We're receiving notifications on our phone, on our computer, the news pops up, we're driving and we have to stop the car quickly. There's, 5 people talking to us. All these create stress responses, or could create stress responses in our body. And when we notice, what I find really powerful, particularly the first few times we try this, is you'll notice a major difference often, in terms of, whoa, I didn't realize I was so stressed. I didn't realize I was so overwhelmed until I just stopped and paused. And when we are in a state of stress, we have a lowered immune system and less energy is going towards our digestion. So our digestion slows. And so these practices help us, ultimately boost immune system, boost our digestion, boost our vitality, right? Consider this like your recovery time. Like as a professional athlete or as an athlete, right? You get recovery time. Consider this your personal recovery time. Yes, you totally deserve it. And it's totally for your body, mind, and soul. And another sweet thing about this is you don't have to have a meditation practice, a yoga practice, a spiritual practice. This is simply for every human if you want it, if it resonates with you. Another great benefit of this is it gives your eyes a break, right? Even if you're watching this with me, we're going to be closing our eyes and we're going to be giving our eyes a break. Obviously, if you're driving, please wait to do this later. Okay, use your best judgment. Otherwise, you can go ahead and do it. And I also find that these guided meditations, they help us make these small shifts in our energy with what you're thinking about, but also the underlying energy of what you're thinking about. In terms of, okay, I have a meeting coming up and I'm going to be giving a presentation and I'm going to be speaking in front of people. That's not my bag. It's not my thing. I'm feeling a little nervous about it. We go through a guided meditation like this, and there's opportunity to approach that now with, say, a lowered stress response, with a little more openness and possibility and maybe curiosity and optimism, even for that matter, right? Because we're more grounded, we're more centered. Just feels yummy talking about it. These guided meditations also help us increase our emotional awareness, meaning being aware of what we're actually feeling in the moment, and helps us become more responsive compared to reactive to a situation, right? Reactive meaning somebody says something that ignites a little fire inside of me and I just whip right back at them, right? In our house, I call it kind of throwing fire at each other. Being more emotionally aware helps us be able to pause and decide how we want to respond to a situation. We also, one of my favorite things, honestly, about these guided meditations is that you often get clarity in what you're actually feeling, right? Because feelings, emotions, they're not tangible in terms of they're not things we're seeing. They show up in certain ways, right? They show up by our actions, what we say, what we don't say, or do or don't do. But they seem intangible. So a guided meditation helps kind of make sense of whatever it is that you're feeling and putting them into a visual, which means that we also end up separating ourselves from them in terms of, oh, I am not that emotion. Okay, I feel anger, but I'm not angry, if that makes sense. There's feelings of anger, but it doesn't mean you have to live and dwell in your anger. It's separatable. It can move on. It can flow through you. You can process it, so to speak. So these metaphors, these visuals are very powerful. It's something I just so resonate with and have a lot of fun with. So I hope you have some fun with me too in this. Okay. So what I ask is we settle into a space. Again, if you are driving or using anything that requires you to have your eyes open, please pause this or just listen in with your eyes open, or pause it and actually do it at a time that is actually right for you. Okay. Now today's theme is going to be, this is inspired by a client actually who shared one time, you got to let it go to let it flow. And inspired also by the season of change. You're moving from fall into winter. And whenever you listen to this is a great time, because we are constantly shedding, so to speak, right? Things we can let go of. We can declutter stuff in our life, whether that's actual physical stuff. We can declutter actual, like in our heads, our thoughts, right? To bring in more stuff that we actually want. I invite you to get cozy, to get comfortable, to find a seated position if that feels okay. And may this provide the inspiration that you're seeking or the clarity that you're seeking. And take what resonates with you and leave anything else that does not resonate with you. That's okay. Okay. So here we go. Settle in. I invite you to just tune into your breath, just your breathing. The simplicity of your inhale and your exhale, something that's always happening, always going. Sometimes pausing on it. Go ahead and breathe in and out. And if it feels okay, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, but do whatever feels best for you. Just noticing where your thoughts are, where they're wandering, how fast they're going. Almost imagine that you're just observing from the outside. So just observing. Whoa, they're fast. Whoa, I wonder where they're going. Whatever's coming up for you. And thank yourself for being here in this moment, for what you needed to do to be here, to listen to this, for yourself, to give yourself this time. Give yourself a little thank you. And I thank you as well. And go ahead and give yourself a bit of a body scan. So from the lowest portion of your body all the way up through your body, through the top of your head, just scan any signs, any signals that your body is telling you today. Any aches, pains, question marks, dull feelings, or alive and perkiness, whatever it may be. Just notice that. Thank your body for telling you. And let's go ahead and imagine from the lowest portion of your body, or even the base of your spine, imagine roots, like tree roots, reaching down into the ground that you are touching, into the ground. So beneath a chair, into the ground, the layers or floors that you're on, rugs, anything, past cement, past wood, all the way down, breaking into the earth, the actual soil. And these roots, like a tree, run deep and wide. Imagine they just run deep into the soil, and they find the nourishing soil. Wherever you are, they're finding the nourishing soil deep down and wide, spreading out across, connecting to the earth. And you're creating your roots here, grounding yourself for this. Just tuning into your body. And thinking of a phrase here, thinking of the word that comes up for you when I say, I am blank. Notice what comes up. I am. Honoring that word or words, whatever they may be. And we can imagine ourselves now as almost like a tree, right? We have the roots. Now imagine your body as a bit of the trunk of the tree. And from the top of your head, it's almost like we stem out and reach and grow the branches. So the branches grow up above our body, reaching out, kind of like they're reaching towards the sun. And you can imagine there's leaves here. There's leaves on tops of the branches. Notice the type of tree you may be, or just characteristics of the tree. If it's dark, lighter colored, what type of texture maybe the tree has. If there's anything else on the tree, around the tree. And tuning into the branches themselves. And then the leaves that are on the branches. Notice what types of leaves they are, the shapes of them, the color. And for this, we're going to kind of bring ourselves into the season from autumn kind of into winter. Even if we're not listening at that time of the season, we're visualizing that for this tree. This time of letting go. So imagine the leaves start to shift and change color slightly, as though it's during the fall, autumn time. Maybe they're turning orangey, yellowy, bright red, whatever they may be. And imagine that each of these leaves are something that you are ready to let go of. Maybe it's a thought that you feel is limiting you. Maybe it's a belief you have. Maybe it's something you do, a habit. But what you're ready to let go of. And you decide how many leaves there really are on the tree. Maybe today there's only one leaf because there's one thing you want to let go of. That's enough. Maybe today you decide there's nothing I want to let go of today. And that's fine too. Maybe there's 100 leaves. And this is something we can journal about afterwards and explore. Just notice kind of what you feel like is on your tree. And thinking of what you want to let go of. And what I mean by let go of again is think of maybe it's a thought you have, like a worry about a family member, worry about something with work, worry about finances. And this letting go of, this doesn't mean we dismiss it. It doesn't mean we throw the leaf away. We honor what that is. We honor what that thought is, what that experience is, that fear, that doubt, whatever it may be. Let's honor that. Meaning we acknowledge it. You see it. Maybe even be curious about it. What that's telling you. Go ahead and look at that leaf. You can even imagine yourself writing on that leaf what it represents. Maybe it represents grief from an experience. Maybe it represents doubt about your next choice you're going to be making. Or your next career step. Go ahead and imagine writing it on the leaf. Yep, I'm ready to let go of that. And when you're ready, just like we see with the trees, in the time of autumn and fall, the leaf falls off. In its own time, when it's ready, it falls off to the earth. Now, the beautiful thing about when this falls off is leaves, when they fall to the ground, they decompose and they go back into the earth to nourish the soil. These fears, these doubts, whatever we're ready to let go of, serves a purpose. Something we've noticed, we can acknowledge and process. And moves into, essentially, we're just shifting the energy into something else now. Now imagine, now that that leaf is on the ground and it's decomposing, bit by bit, we're going to go into the ground too and go back into the soil, go back into those roots that you spent some energy into. Go back into those deep roots, into that soil. And we are going to go into the nourishment of the soil. So shifting from a worry, a fear, something we were holding on to that we're ready to let go of, and we're shifting that energy into what we want to nourish for ourselves. Thinking about, what do I want to nourish for myself? So imagine those roots really touching the soil, and the soil, the roots are where we absorb the nutrients for ourselves as a tree. Imagine that nourishment just reaching up into the roots. And think about what that nourishment is for you. What it looks like. Maybe it's more you time. Maybe it's just journaling about this afterwards. Maybe it's spending some time with a friend. Maybe it's getting up 15 minutes earlier just for a little more movement or for a walk outside. Maybe it's saying no to things that don't really move you, don't excite you, and saying yes to those things that do. Just notice maybe one or two things that nourish you. Whether they're already in your life or you want to bring them more into your life. Welcome them more into your life. Notice what those are. Bring awareness to that, shifting your energy towards that, your thoughts towards that, while honoring what we did experience already. And knowing that whatever you are experiencing through this is perfect for you. It's enough. We've let a leaf go, or maybe more, or whatever else we needed to do. And we've absorbed and brought in more of what we want to bring into our life. Focused our energy on the nourishment. Kind of tuning inward. Notice if there's any other awarenesses you have for yourself at this time. About this tree, about what it means to you. Any other observations or curiosities you have about it. Note that. And let's bring you back into your body slowly. Just wiggle your toes and your fingers maybe. Maybe move your head side to side. Maybe take a full breath in. Full breath out. And notice what comes to mind for you now when finishing the sentence, I am blank. And in your own time, I invite you to open your eyes. Whew, okay. Welcome back, friend. How are you feeling? What came up for you, I wonder? A powerful practice after this is writing observations down. There's power in putting pen or pencil to paper and sharing that experience for yourself. So much power in that. Know again that whatever you experienced in this, whether it was like, oh my gosh, nothing happened. I wasn't even able to see the tree, or I was overwhelmed with like so many leaves, or it was exactly what I wanted. Whatever it may be, know that that was perfect for you, meaning that there's no expectations or assumptions of what something like this needs to be or should be. That's the beauty of this experience, is it's unique to you, and each experience is unique. Every guided meditation is different, looks different. It doesn't always involve a tree either. Today, I was just moved by a tree, maybe because I'm wearing leaf earrings, maybe because I found a leaf on the ground in the room, maybe because I've also guided athletes recently through very similar meditations during this time of the year. I'd like to thank you for going through this experience for yourself, for whatever you learned about yourself. There's so much power in self-learning, self-growth through experience. So you just experience something new in this way, in this particular moment. And if you choose to listen to this again, it'll be different that time too. That's the power of it. You come with yourself today, who you are today, and then you come with yourself, who you are another day. I invite you to share this with anybody or a team or a group of people. You can do this together as a group and talk about it afterwards also, collectively, to talk about what came up for you. Kind of like your own cool book club, but a guided meditation club. And you don't need to be a professional athlete to do this or an athlete to do this. This is great for every human being, every human as well. And it is especially also powerful for human athletes. So thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, friend.